Hello friends and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I want to design a 3D printed tray that holds 4 seedling starter pots. The same starter pots I made in the last video, and this is continuing my 3D printed garden tool series. In this video I want to focus on design workflow and measurements. I want to show you how I plan my dimensions, how I allow for tolerances, and how I make sure the parts fit together when printed. I want to kind of plan my measurements obviously according to my build plate, but I also don't want to waste material, and I also don't want to make it too small to have the tray flimsy. So I need to find a balance between how large my water drip tray is, how much material I put into it without being wasteful, and then how much do I need actually to have a solid tray so I can pick it up without having the fear of it breaking. So here we are in Fusion 360, and let's start with the first thing we know for sure. So we know for sure our build plate is 256 by 256 millimeters. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to make a quick sketch. And this is, I don't need this. I just wanted to show you how I think about designing. So I'm going to start from the middle, and I'm going to make a square of 256 by 256 millimeters. Okay. So this is the size of my build plate. And I want to make sure that first of all I can fit everything into the build plate, and also I want to make sure that everything fits together. So I want to quickly design something very simple that is going to guide me through that. So I'm going to go somewhere here on the edge, somewhere there, and knowing that my planter pot is 50 mil by 50 mil, giving it a bit of tolerance, I want to make it of the size of 52 mil by 52 mil. So that will give me 1 mil tolerance on each side. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do the fillet the same way I did with the pot. So I'm going to do 5 mil fillet on this side, and simply I'm going to click this line and this line. That will give me 5 mil here, this and that. Will give me 5 mil here, this and that. That will give me 5 mil here. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to make sure I've done right is make clearances between the pots, the placement of the pots, because remember I have on this side I have a 3 mil snap clip. So when I get them to sit next to each other, I want to take in consideration that tolerance. So I'll make this as 4 mil, and that will give me plenty of space. And this one doesn't matter, I'll just make it whatever size. It doesn't matter, this is just for guidance. Okay, so now I'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just gonna make a 4 mil rectangular, and the other side doesn't matter again. And first of all, I want to place this closer to the edge of the print plate. So I'll just move it somewhere there. Okay. Now I want to select everything and create a rectangular pattern. So the first thing I want to do, the quantity is going to be 4, because I have 4 pots and this is how much I want to fit on my tray. And I want to extend this all the way till I get, you see the clearance here? There's no clearance at the moment. So I want to give it a little bit, just this much. That means technically this is going to be 3 mil, this is 4 mil, but my plant pot is 3 mil, so I'll have somewhere about 1 mil of tolerance on this side. Say okay, and this is how much I can move around. Now these are perfect for my pots. I just need to delete these because I don't need them and I don't want them to be in my way. So I'm going to delete all of these. Okay, now let's delete the build plate because we don't need it anymore. Now let's create the outside of the tray. So I'll take a 2-point rectangle, and because nothing is exactly in the center point, I don't want to create something that is not symmetrical. So what I want to do is I want to take the 2-point rectangle and go into one of these corners, and if I scroll out, I can go all the way to this corner. Okay, so that will give me a rectangle that surrounds perfectly all of these slots of the tray. Now that I have this, I want to create a border all the way around this at the same thickness as the distance between these two gaps. So I'm going to measure the distance between these two using the inspect tool. I'll click one and click the other one, and that tells me is 8 millimeters, 0.33. And with that in mind, I'll select all of these by double clicking one of these lines, and I will offset it by 8.33, and that gives me the border outside of these gaps the same thickness as the gaps in between the spaces for the pots. Now I just want to fillet these 4 corners. I just want to fillet all of these corners at the same radius as I have these ones, just so they look nice. So I will fillet it by 5 millimeters, and then I'll go around and fillet everything the same. And there we go, that's my sketch finish. Now is simply I need to select everything, and let's get rid of this line, and I simply want to select everything and extrude everything by 3 millimeters down. So I'll do it minus 3 millimeters, and I want to select all of these corners also. I want to select all the borders which I need to extrude up, and I will extrude this by 15 millimeters. Quick word guys, if this video helped you, please consider giving it a like and consider subscribing. This really helps my channel grow and it really helps me make more videos for you. Now let's go back to designing. One more thing I want to do is I want to create, now before I send this to 3D print, I want to do one more thing, and I want to create some holes between these sections. So if I by any chance I put too much water into one of the pots, whole water level will be the same all through the tray. Okay, so to do that, I'm just gonna select this section and create a sketch on it. Okay, but because I can't see this now, I'm just gonna hold shift and move it slightly like that. So I want to create a couple of squares. So I'm just gonna simply create 2 squares. They don't have to be perfect, they don't have to be the same size, because nobody sees that, and yeah, they don't matter that much. They only need to let water through. So I'm going to finish this sketch, select both of them, and I'm going to extrude them that way. So that will make a couple of cuts in each. If you have the operation cut, we'll make a few cuts in each of those separation walls, let's call it. So hit OK, and that will make sure the water is level all throughout the tray. Now, as it is, this tray is ready to be printed, and this is kind of all you need to make a functional tray. But in this video I want to show you something new, maybe, which we'll definitely use in the next video, and I want to show you how to add text to a surface. So I want to add something silly, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this edge. Let's have a look from the back, and we'll also switch to orthographic view. And looking at the back of this, I want to create a new sketch, and onto this section I want to create a text. So the way I'm working this out, I'm going to start from one corner and I'm going to go all the way to the surface of this. And this is my text which I can place onto my print. So I want to say, my lovely seedlings. Okay, and I can, with this text, I can just say the height is fine, 10 millimeters. I want to put it in the middle everywhere, so it's exactly in the middle of my tray. See that? So I'm going to choose alignment middle and middle, and I want to change the character to something a bit more bold. So let's say Arial Black. The same technique you can use for printing names on things. So if you want to say it for my amazing grandmother, or for my best friend, or whatever text you want to put on surfaces, this is how you do it. You create a sketch, and then you create a text, and adjust your text to be the size of whatever you want to put it on, and then say OK. Now if I finish sketch, you can see my text is there, but it won't be printed. So I need to extrude this text by something. So I'm going to select all my text and say extrude, and I will extrude it by 1.5 mil. So 1.5 mil is enough to be pretty visible, and also not have many problems when you print. So when the print head goes out to print this, 1.5 mil is enough to not be technically considered printing in air, and I think this will be printed quite nice. So let's have a look at the perspective view, and there you go. This is a tray for my lovely seedlings. Right, so let's send this to print and see how it looks on the 3D printer. So here is my Bamboo Studio. Let's import the drip tray, and as you can see, it is pretty much on the edge of being printed, and the text is in the back now, but I want to turn it around so when I print it and film the time lapse, you can actually see the text being printed. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'll go to Z-axis. I'll switch it by 180 degrees. Okay, so that will give me the text in the front of the build plate. Okay, so let's change a few settings on my print. So the first one, I want to change it to layer height. I want to do 0.2, and I want to do strength. I want to create 4 walls. That will give me quite a bit of strength. I like the bottom pattern to be octagonal spiral, just because it looks good. And I want the wall generator to be Arachne, and that will give me variable line width, and that cuts out of the time and makes prints a bit better. Let's slice it and see how it looks like. So there you go, these are my lovely seedlings. And I think that looks perfect. And that's it. Let's send it to print and see how it works. And this is it for this one. This tray is designed specifically to fit the seedling pots from the previous video. But the real goal here was to show you how I think about measurements and clearances. And if this video helped you understand the workflow a bit better, please give it a like and consider subscribing. It really helps to support the channel. In the next video, I'll be making a few more 3D printed gardening tools. So stick around and I'll see you there. Bye!